I'm John Grafft, and I love Chicago real estate. Between showings, I stop in my favorite places, talk with local business owners, and bring their story to you. This is my Chicago.
All right, so we're gonna sit Henry on his bottom. We'll face him towards the tub. And then we're gonna get his float on here. Our float just rests gently under the chin and at the back of the head. It's light, soft, non-restrictive. And due to the buoyancy of the water, they're about 5% of their body weight. So they're able to float freely at the top. Okay, big man, let's get you. He knows the drill. Just get me in the water. How's this, Ginny? Good. Okay, I got him. And I'm gonna have him face mom when I get him in. And usually we let them go free in there with no diaper, but we're gonna keep the diaper on today, right? Yeah, hi. Okay, we're gonna let you go. You wanna hold, you always wanna hold hands. Ready? You wanna push off the sides? All right, whoa. We play with the toys if we want. See, that diaper fills up with water. He's gonna be like, why am I not so free in here? What do you think? So the benefit of being in the water with the float is that they could float near weightlessly and freely due to the buoyancy of the water. So it's a great way for them to activate their muscles, activate their motor skills. It's a very unique type of movement that they, of course, can only do in the water that they can't currently do on land right now at this age. So we have noticed since opening, babies know where they want to go at this age. This is really truly the only way they can get there. So they'll move towards parents' voices, towards the name boards. They love the faucets, as you can see, any of the shiny or the ducky. And we have toys that parents can interact with, and it's just great for their circulation, for their muscles. It's such a cool way for them to move. They love being independent here. They get very focused on those movements. And it's just great for muscles. It's a nice form of hydrotherapy for them. And it's a unique type of sensory experience for them with being in the water. And they love it. They just love being able to move. You see the ducky? Hi, big man. Sometimes it takes the babies a few minutes to realize how they can move in there, but most of the time they figure it out right away. And just depending on how we're feeling each day, of course, every baby's different. We have babies 0 to 6 months. So Henry's a little bit older, so he would stay a little bit longer in the tub and move probably a little bit more. But our newbies, our littles, they can tend to fall asleep in here because they get so relaxed. It's very calming to the nervous system. And again, just a really unique way for them to move. So some kiddos stay in, most kiddos stay in for that full 20, 25 minutes. Other kiddos will move for a little bit, get a little sleepy, and we'll take them out after about 10 to 15. So obviously babies run the show here, they're the bosses. So we just let them do their own thing. And it's a really nice way for parents to be one-on-one with baby with all the craziness of not only what's going on right now, but also just having a newborn in general. It's a really nice, safe sanctuary to come with your baby just so you can focus on that one-on-one time. Clearly he's a little pro. I don't think it took him long at all, even the first time, to realize what he could do, right?
You were like, why haven't you taken
Yeah.
How old is Henry?
He just turned 6 months yesterday. So
You said 0, so people come here immediately?
Yeah, so 2 weeks. So once baby's umbilical cord dries and falls off, once they can get their first regular bath at home, they can come here. We're very age specific just because once they hit 6 months, they're just ready to move on to a regular swim class and graduate from our float. They get pretty active in there. And we really, before COVID, the main point and reason that I wanted to open was to have that early postpartum stimulation and interaction for parents. There's just not a whole lot to not only do, but it's also a very stressful and vulnerable time for parents, primarily mothers, it's a lot of isolation. And before COVID, we were running classes, as you can see, of 3 and 4 kiddos. It was great for parent meetups and just a nice place to come early on and really interact and talk with and meet other parents that are going through the same thing that you are.
Are there facilities like this across the city?
So we're the only one in Chicago. In the US, we're just the 3rd of a space similar. We're standalone. Metta Baby is its own studio, but it's a very prevalent concept in Europe, Asia, Canada, Australia, so lots of other parts of the world. The baby floating is very prevalent over there. I did a lot of training overseas, and really interestingly enough, a lot of the baby spas in Europe and Canada are actually covered by maternal benefits.
Wow.
By insurance. So yeah, they're a ton of great, it's actually a fairly older practice, but just newer to the US. So we're excited to be one of 3 and the first in Chicago, so.
I showed a picture of this to my wife's mom who lives in Korea, and she knew what this was.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's hard to, when you research, it's a little difficult to find exactly where the first is, but from my research, Asia is definitely where this began, the specific floating for babies. It's hard to pinpoint exactly the timeline, but it's, like I said, very big in other parts of the world. I've had quite a few clients from India come in here saying that this is a very prevalent concept over there. So it's lots of other parts of the world, just newer to the US. And then the infant massage practice, which we teach here as well, that's been around for decades. It's a very, very old practice. So that's, again, something that no one's really familiar with, but it's another practice that's been around forever and very much prevalent in other parts of the world.
You said you did your training overseas?
Yeah, so I'm a NICU nurse by trade, so I've been a nurse for 10 years now, and so babies was, of course, my specialty. I've done in-home, clinic, and in hospital. I did some training. I was living in Europe with my husband at the time, so we've lived in a bunch of different countries over there. We were in Turkey, Spain, Germany, and Russia, and every country that we were in, they had this. So the baby spas over there were very welcoming to me and very nice to kind of show me the ropes since we were in America. So did some training over there, and then of course I already had the baby background and the massage certification just based on my background. So we have a whole ton of ideas and classes that we're going to bring in here soon when we can, but primarily we're just doing the one-on-ones right now only because of COVID. It's not ideal because all parents want social interaction. Just doing it for the meantime, and then we're hoping to open up those group classes here in the next few months or so. It's really putting on a show.
He loves it.
This is just, of course, my number one question is, do any babies hate it when they get in here? We have babies 0 to 6 months. Of course, there's going to be times where baby is not feeling like a 20-minute workout. We can understand that, but they take to the water so well. It's really just if they're hungry before they get in, or if they're overstimulated or overtired, they can, of course, tend to get pretty tired. This is a form of exercise for them.
Yeah.
It's their first form of
exercise. He's going to be tuckered out soon, right? Yeah, you can tell. He's really working hard. He's so free.
Yeah, and it's an exercise, it's stimulation, but it's a gentle exercise for them and a gentle stimulation. So Henry's he came to work out today. A lot of babies will get their workout and move for a few minutes, take a break, just float, move for a few minutes, take a break.
Has he stopped once?
No, he won't stop.
I always joke, so I remember swimming when I was a little kid, and I say it was the most natural I ever felt. And I remember, I swam when I was younger, and it's always something I love. The water is a very cool space, and you feel different than anywhere else.
Yeah, it's of course for babies, it's natural. It's really cool to see our littles come in, even 6 to 8 weeks and under. They just, it's an environment they're used to, of course. And so even the babies that are really little in here, they're not moving like Henry, of course, but they're moving towards parents' voice. They're still using their arms and legs to swim towards the things that they want to see. And it's just such a natural environment. I mean, you know, water movement's not only good for babies, but it's any age group. This is a form of therapy, so it's definitely freeing to them. So good, buddy. I know, usually I lower Henry's tub a little bit more because he's quite the splasher, but that's one of the other reasons why we have our age range, is just because my kiddos that are 6 months, they can tend to get really active in there. So we've had kiddos that are full on making wave pools, and we're all like, you know, getting the towels and yeah, we're trying to kind of do damage control, but. And our age range is a little bit general. It's more for 6 months is about for a term baby. I do have quite a few babies that are born early, premature babies that can come for a little bit longer. It depends on their activity level, but it's a general age range for us here, because then, as you can see, they can get pretty active.
Before we came here, Henry wasn't like a water guy too.
He didn't love the bathroom.
No, bath was really painful.
Really?
And then after this, now he loves the bath. Yeah,
How did you find out about this business?
I found out about it before I had Henry, but my oldest was too old to come here. So this was pre-COVID, and Rachel reached out to me, I think a few months ago, and invited me to come and try it, and we fell in love and immediately purchased. I was like, how many times can I get here before?
So did you know each other before this?
We didn't, no. We reach out to moms in the community, so from just different neighborhoods to come in. We were doing it pre-COVID when we just opened to get the word out. I don't know if you're probably not super familiar, but there's each kind of neighborhood has moms groups, and just
on Facebook or Nextdoor?
Yeah, pretty much Facebook, or there's a few other moms groups in the Chicago area that have been really helpful as well, getting the word out. But usually it's nice to have moms from the area come in, so then of course they're talking to other moms. And it was one, for me, social media is marketing, of course, but for us, it's more important for me to have parents in here word of mouth, because that's another parent to parent saying you should try Metta Baby. You know, anything helps, of course, with the media, but because we're local, we're primarily service-based. For us, it's best to, and it's most exciting for me when I have another parent come in here saying, I learned about this from my friend and they said we had to come. And so we're primarily word of mouth. So we like to reach out to other parents in the community who can come in and give us a try, and that's worked out really well for us.
That's like my business. You really need the word of mouth referral for it to grow.
Yeah,
it's the best form of advertising you can have.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
And of course, when you have something so unique like this, pretty much 99% of people that are coming here have never seen or heard of this before.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone sent me a photo. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Especially as someone who swam his whole life.
That's actually one of the biggest, you smiley boy. It's one of the biggest feedbacks that I get from here from parents. Either parents will tell me swimming was really important to them growing up throughout their whole life, or they, on the opposite spectrum, they never learned how to swim. So they are really wanting their babies and their kids to get used to the water early on. So that's one of the main reasons actually people come here.
I think we're using phones so often that they know it. He's like, oh, he saw my phone. He lit up. He's like, okay, is it time to smile?
Anytime I set my phone down, he wants to go towards it, and I'm like, oh,
so
that means I'm on my phone too much. If you want to see what's on there.
Hi, smiley boy. You are doing so good. I mean, he's like this every time, but
well, today it feels like he's.
You know why he missed last week? Because of the snowstorm. So I think he's coming to
making up.
Impress.
Yeah, So we'll give him a few more minutes, and then we'll get him out to do massage time. We keep an eye on the time. Of course, we watch he's really smiling at you there. He's like, I'm over, Rachel, a new person is here. We watch for babies' cues. Some babies let us know when they're ready to come out by getting a little tired or fussy. Then of course we get them out, and other babies, I should say most other babies would stay in the full time. So we do have to watch the time. Of course, we don't want to overdo it.
What is the session time?
So it just depends on each kiddo. We cut them off around 25 minutes.
Okay.
So between 10 and 25 minutes, it really depends on.
That's pretty impressive. It's a baby.
It's very impressive. And that's why.
Most people can't do 20 minutes of serious exercise or
Yep.
swimming for 20 minutes.
Yep. They are so much stronger and so much smarter than we ever will know. But younger babies, of course, will stay in for a little bit less. Honestly, though, it's most of the time we end up kicking them out. They will stay in forever. It really just depends on how active they are and how we're feeling that day, of course. So we'll get Henry out in a few minutes and then we'll do massage time. Our sessions are an hour because we never want to rush babies. We're on their own time and they usually will need a break at some point, also a feeding. So we have that time scheduled in as well.
I want that one.
Thirsty.
He needs a bigger tub.
Yeah.
Hey. He's probably like, why also is this diaper on? I'm trying to be free in here.
He is moving a little differently than
Yeah.
when he has a diaper on.
Yep.
Because he's not.
You can tell?
Oh yeah.
The diapers,
Splashing.
the swim diapers are great, of course, but they do weigh them down. I mean, it's still a diaper, so they can fill up with a little water. So he'd probably be going even a little crazier without the diaper on, but usually we let them go free in there just because they're in a diaper all day. So we want them to really be able to, and we drain, clean, refill the tubs each time. So they're able to do that. But yeah, he's probably like, okay, let's get this thing off.
What was the original purpose of the tub?
What do you mean?
Was this used for another industry and
No,
then you
we
used it
got
for
these
your own?
custom made.
These are custom made for you?
Yeah.
Very cool. How'd you have that done? Where were they made?
It was actually local in Chicago. I just had to reach out to quite a few different businesses just because it's a very specific thing, of course, that we needed. And I had really a lot of things that needed to be met in order to get the tubs that we wanted. So nothing on the market was really perfect for the fit. So yeah, they're definitely custom made. One of my biggest feedbacks that I get from parents are, can you start making these tubs for adults?
Yeah.
Can we get these in our house somewhere?
You ever seen a cold pull or a cold plunge?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of, if you were an adult, it would be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the athlete tubs that they do the, the cold soaks or. What do you think, buddy?
He's using his arms a lot
More,
I think,
yeah.
With I don't know if this is the.
It's usually just the progression of time. It's really cool for us to see. We, of course, coming once is great. It's a really nice experience for educational purposes and just to have, that nice baby and parent time. But we always recommend coming more than once because as Isabel would know and as we've seen, the progression is really cool to see what the babies do. Usually first time they're just gonna be kicking their legs because they don't know that they can move their arms like this. And then as they come more and more, usually by third time coming there, they're full on swimming like Henry is. So they're doing very consistent and purposeful movements in there with their arms and legs. They're either twisting, kicking, bicycling those legs, or doing the froggy paddle to get towards the toys or towards parent. So, I mean, I see it, of course, every day, and it's still each time it's incredible to see how they can move in there.
What's the typical package people buy?
So I have options right now of 2, 4, and 6. Most people will come once and then do the package options, of course. And so generally people will do the 4-pack is probably our most common. It really depends on what you're looking for, and then of course your family schedule. A lot of parents with older kiddos, of course, can, we only have babies here. Unfortunately, we don't have the siblings here, so it's just one-on-one with the parent. So it really depends. We have families that come once a week. We have families that come every other week, once a month. It really just depends on what you're looking for. And the packages can be used, you don't have to use them in a certain amount of time, only that 6-month age limit. So we have a lot of different options. things will also change once we get back to group classes, so it's a little more specific right now with the private classes, but we're going to have...
The social aspect's huge, like you said. I can imagine that would be one of the biggest appeals of this outside of everything else it offers.
It is, yeah. That's why it's, you know, of course we want to be as safe as possible here, so that's why we're doing the one kiddo for now, but I've had so much pushback from parents being like, we feel safe here, you need to open up group classes. Everyone wants socialization, and it, you know, it's a very fine line, of course, and the most important thing is health and safety, but mental health is just as important, and you know, being a new parent, whether you're a new parent or have other siblings at home, that new stage of bringing a baby home is very stressful and very isolating. So I worked I was in the hospital quite a bit, but I've also worked very closely in home for a few years with moms and parents, and it's really tough. And that was the main thing that made feedback that I got, was that, you know, you want to find other people to talk to that are going through the same thing. And I think the most surprising thing that I've learned here since opening Metta Baby and just talking to parents is that you always just kind of assume that you have someone that has a baby in the same age range, and it's really not, especially being in a city like Chicago. I would say probably like 95% of parents tell me that they have no friends or family with babies within a 6-month period. So you really do feel like you're on your own. And especially in a time like now with COVID, where, you know, the moms groups are not meeting up, and you really we're barely getting out of the house before. You know, the virtual option's great as well, but people are really ready for that in-person interaction. And it's huge when it comes to that postpartum time.
Isabel, what was your draw?
Everything. It's so wonderful having some one-on-one time with Henry. There's nothing like this in the city, and there's also no offerings for newborns in the city. So it was great to find an activity that I can take them to that's not, you know, someone playing guitar on my iPad or something. So
You just brought up a great point. Other offerings. So what type of offerings are available for infants?
So there are places that you can take baby, but and those are great options as well. Different types of sensory experiences. Music classes are great. There's of course other play spaces in the city, but this is the one place that they can physically participate in. So there are different types of activities that offer for, I think generally 4 months plus most places, but coming as newborn stage, we're definitely the only space like this, and as far as something that they can actively participate in. So we're very unique in that sense as well. And because we don't have siblings come, because we want it to be a one-on-one experience, very similar obviously to Isabel's situation, is that she has a 3-year-old at home, and all of my parents with siblings say, of course, we love having our other kiddos around, but this is the one time that they can really focus on baby, you know, and that's unique as well for us. So.
How long did it take you to get this up and running?
Oh man, I had the idea for like 5 years, and then to really make it happen as far as the city goes, finding the perfect space. I was really set on Bucktown and really on Damon. And then of course, getting all the back end business side of things up and running, it took about 2 years. So it was an idea for a long time, and it took I would say a few years to really make it happen. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Do you have investors on this?
No, I'm standalone, yep.
Right.
Just sole owner.
I imagine that was hard.
It was, yeah, and especially with COVID. You know, like I said, we only opened 5 months before. So with something that is not only new, but it's always going to take you a few months, if not a year, to get going as a new business, at least.
Yes.
And so that was tough. I'm just grateful that we were really busy before lockdown, so that was really helpful. I did have PPP assistance, which was really helpful. And, you know, I'm just grateful that we can be open. You know, it's the private classes are wonderful. It's really nice for me to be able to be one-on-one with parents, but it's not a sustainable model. We do need to get back to the group classes pretty quickly here. But again, there's, you know, so many businesses that are struggling right now. I'm just beyond grateful that we can keep our doors open. So it's huge. It was a struggle, but we can stay open. So I'm just happy about that.
Did you completely bootstrap this? Were you able to get a loan from a bank? How did your financing work?
No, this was just because I had this idea and, you know, was planning on doing this for 5 years. It was just all me.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. It's very intimidating to go into something like this, especially having a physical location.
The physical location is definitely not easy, especially in a place like Bucktown. I mean, any physical location is hard. Chicago in general, yeah. So it's, you know, it was something that was just on my mind forever, and I had so much passion about making it happen that I was really going to do anything to do it. So just, got to figure it out. That's all I really tried to not do. It would have been, of course, really helpful and to do loans from the bank, especially this, you know, from COVID, with COVID and everything, but it was not something I wanted to do unless I had to, because I didn't know if we could even stay open. I didn't know if I'd have to close my doors in June or, you know, so I didn't want to be getting anything extra that I didn't need to. And luckily the PPP really helped, and our clients. I mean, during COVID, I've had so many previous former clients reach out being like, tell us what we can do, tell us how we can help. The support from the community has really been incredible. So,
well, your point about the moms, I could see this being just as important for a mom as it is for their child, because they get this one-on-one time that they don't get otherwise, like you mentioned.
Yep. And you now going through this for, you know, second time around, it's probably very interesting to see if there were any new offerings for babies or, you know, within a few years, but I know there's not a whole lot, so.
There are fewer offerings now than there were a few years ago when I was going through this with my first son. Because then I could at least take him to a music class. Now there's nothing. So, and I love your point about that you didn't always take them to anything, but this activity is completely revolved around them.
I feel like we're almost stealing the time from you. I feel bad.
A lot of times
so
they just do their own thing in there, and so a lot of times, you know, we get caught up, and the parents, you know, that come through are just amazing, and so they always want to, you know, we're always swapping stories, or, you know, they want to learn more about where this came from and everything, and we're chatting away, and the baby's just doing their own thing, and they're like, they don't even.
That's why this is such a great social activity, because the moms can just hang out and.
When you do this, how many babies do you have in here?
So the babies are always in their own tub unless it's multiples. We have twins, triplets, will float in the same tub. But generally we had 3 to 4 kiddos before COVID going per class. And then we had, with the massage time, everyone was on the mat, on the ground. Babies were socializing, parents were socializing. Seems crazy to do that now, but
so would you kind of swap? Would you have people doing massage and this happening at the same time, and then?
No, we keep it very low stimulation in here, so it will always just be the 3 to 4 kiddos. We were, before COVID, we had a baby yoga class, a baby sensory class, we have CPR class. We're adding in a few classes here in the next few months, but we did have group classes that were not the floating for older babies. But right now, during COVID, it just wasn't ideal for the situation. So we are going to hopefully make that happen soon. But we had different options. We were running a ton of events with other local businesses, local baby and parent businesses. We were packing people in here before, so.
I love the ancillary services. You can offer so much. Once this becomes the baby place, right?
Yeah.
You're introduced as this you can do for your child, and then you can offer anything else on top of it. I don't want to call it an upsell, that's what it is, but it's a baby, it's not, it's totally different. It's just another service that someone wants or someone needs or wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of ideas I've had since before even opening that I want to do, and we will get there, of course, but we will have different options besides for just our one class. We're going to have birthing classes start here soon. And
For an at-home birth?
Not for at-home birth. Well, it kind of depends on what your specific situation, but
I feel like this
just
goes
more
along
newborn,
with that philosophy.
Yeah, and just newborn education and just lots of different ideas, but we have to figure out how to make it work with, the current climate, so.
I can picture one of these in every affluent suburb in the country.
It's been really interesting. This is really cool for me. Our demographics are very, very wide. We have clients coming from, because we're the only space like this, we have clients coming from Northwest Indiana to North Shore. So I have clients that would come in when they're in town.
Yeah.
We're just such a unique space.
This is a destination.
It's a
for some people, I bet.
very unique, yes.
Yeah.
And
you're so close off the highway, so accessible.
Yeah, and it's just really cool for me that we have so many types of demographics, cultures, everyone coming through here. It's been amazing. And it's been such a great learning experience for me, but for the parents as well, just, there's one thing that stays the same. Everyone wants to have that early postpartum interaction, education, and they want to do something really nice for their baby. So it's been really, really fun to see.
Your husband must be very loving and supporting of this.
He is the reason why I've been able to get through this last year, for sure. He has been incredible. He's doing the laundry in the back if I need him to. I have staff of nurses, but I didn't have them coming in during COVID. So my family has been my biggest and best support system. My parents, my dad comes here to help with the back stuff. My mom's been the reason I could open. So.
Did you grow up in this area?
In Palos Park, so outside of the city, but I've been in the city for a while. But yeah, my family has been incredibly supportive. And then, what do we think? I think we'll get you out and do massage time. We're kind of slowing down a little bit. So we get the babies a warm towel when they come out, because of course we have really little babes that aren't quite at their temperature. Hi, you did so good. We want to make sure they're nice and warm. Hi, come here. I'm gonna get his diaper off, so just let you know. Okay, ready, come here. Let's get your diaper off first.
He's running to the corner.
Yeah, a lot of times they know, he's trying to run away from me. A lot of times they know that I'm gonna pull them out, and so.
I can already see it on his face, he's like, no.
He's like, no guys. He's literally swimming away from me. Let me get your diaper off.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get out of there.
Let me get your diaper off, big man. Hi.
Why would you do this?
I know we're best friends. I know you're mad at me right now. I know you still want to swim. All right, I'll have you hold him underneath his arms for me. Let me know when you have him. Got him? All right, float coming off, Henry. Oh, so good. We got a warm towel waiting for you over here. Come on over. And usually they're still trying to kick and swim when they get out of the tub. So good. You did amazing. Hi, sweet boy. Hi, I know you're such a sweetheart. So now we just get a dry diaper on them, and we have a baby scale just for fun. If parents ever are curious about weight, we can do that before or after. And then we get them in their diaper, and then we teach parents how to go through a massage routine, which has a whole another wide array of benefits. So we'll do that next, okay? So I'll probably just go through, I won't do the whole massage routine. We'll do like a quick version, because usually that's like another 15 minutes.
Okay.
But in general, and Henry's going to be very hungry after that whole situation.
If you want to do it, or okay.
Go ahead. Okay, well, I'll just do like a 10 or less minute. Yeah.
We're big on long form stuff. Everything short, and this is these are the long things that people don't get of businesses.
Okay, perfect. I'm used to when people come in, they're like, boom, 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 like, let's go. So you guys let me know. If he wants to eat then as well, you're fine to give him a snack. You just let me know what you think. You think he's okay? Okay, perfect. So how often do you go, obviously I was looking at your Instagram, and it seems like you go to quite a few businesses. Was that something you just started during COVID, or?
We started it during COVID.
Okay.
I wanted a way to still connect with people, and I'm a small business owner. So many people I know are small business owners, and people are really struggling. Like, what can we do that helps promote our business simultaneously while promoting other people's business?
That's amazing.
And that's what this is. And I think the types of media that most people are absorbing isn't what we're creating. And everything's either too short or it's what you see on TV.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a long form. You can watch the whole thing, you can hear about your story, you can understand why you got into this. And I think every entrepreneur deserves an opportunity to tell that story if someone wants to hear it.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's so nice. No, I'm so excited. It's so cool.
Well, it's so hard to install yourself in a community. And I just believe if I do this enough, it'll come back. And I already had Adam on salary, and we do so many property videos and so many things for our own business that this was just a natural extension of doing this.
It's awesome. And I love that it seems like you're doing very like niche, like everything's pretty unique.
Yes.
And I don't, maybe that's wrong, but at least the ones I was seeing.
No, you're right. I'm trying to do things that people would be interested in.
Okay.
And also people that don't need, I want to work with people that need this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of businesses I could do that I even have connections with.
Yeah.
They do not need this attention.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring up smaller businesses.
So nice. Well, I really appreciate it.
So
appreciate it.
Can you walk us through this? Because I had no idea you were going to do it like this.
Yeah. So I teach the parents how to go through a massage routine. So we always teach parents how to do the massage on their baby. We're not doing the massage on the baby.
Okay.
So usually, like I said, in our group classes, we have a few different mattresses. The babies are facing each other. They get to interact with each other. Right now, of course, it's just myself and the parent, but I'll be taking Isabel through a massage routine that then she can perform on Henry at home, and I'll take you through kind of the whole spiel as I go.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right, we ready? So I'm going to take you guys through a massage routine that I recommend adding as a part of bedtime routine. You can feel free to grab some of the oil here, a brown bottle. We'll switch it in your hands. This just gets the oil nice and warm. It also lets them know you're going to get started. And I take you through a whole routine here, but keep in mind you can try a few minutes at home each night and then work your way up to a full routine. We're going to start with legs first, one at a time, and we'll go ankle to thigh first towards the body. And each stroke you just do a few times. The massage is great for their circulation, for that blood flow to the bones and the joints. It's also very relaxing for them, so it lowers the cortisol levels, which are the stress levels that babies do have at the end of the day. A lot of people are surprised or laugh at that, but being a baby, there's a lot of, especially a newborn, there is so many new sounds, faces, stresses that we don't even know, and so this lowers their cortisol levels. And it also increases, we'll go backwards, thigh to ankle. It increases the oxytocin levels in parents. So those are the happy, love, cuddle hormones, they call it. And those are the hormones that, of course, everyone wants. That's one of the reasons why everyone leaves here so happy. Perfect. We'll go to the bottom of the foot, thumb over thumb, heel to toe. And we're gonna do a little texting on the bottom of the foot, little baby reflexology. Pressure point move. Where'd your toy go? Sometimes our older kiddos need a little distraction with a toy. One of the reasons why we have our 6-month age limit is because, of course, once they get extra mobile, it becomes a little harder to teach, and then we're gonna just gently roll off of each toe a few times. And it's also just a really nice routine to add into that daily nighttime routine for the added bonding. The bonding, nurturing, purposeful touch is wonderful for babies, parents, especially, for example, a partner, maybe if mom's breastfeeding, your partner really wants to get involved. So this is a really nice way to involve them as well. Nice bonding experience. We're gonna go toe to ankle. All right, let's move on to the tummy moves. So tummy moves are gonna be great for that gas digestion, constipation. We love teaching the tummy moves to newborns or parents with newborns because it really helps with that newborn gas, but also babies Henry's age when they start foods, solids down the road, this really helps with that digestion. So we're gonna go hand over hand below the ribs, down towards the groin. We're gonna flip you over in 1 minute, buddy. Probably getting tired. You want to flip him on his tummy and we'll do back? Let's try it. You want to look around. Say, I don't want to be on my back anymore. We'll go hand over hand, neck down to the tush.
He likes that.
Yeah, a lot of times babies his age, they don't want to be on their backs for too long, which is understandable. They want to be looking around, so a lot of times we'll flip them and do the back moves.
And how old is Henry?
He's 6 months.
6 months.
And then we'll crisscross hip to shoulder, give a little hand hug at the top.
Is this a specific music choice for the babies?
Yeah, so we have, this is our playlist that I just added. We have a whole playlist of about 100 songs, but the albums are called Rockabye Lullaby, and it has all different genres of music just in lullaby form, so it's really cool. We have pop, oldies, rap, anywhere from like Beyonce to the Beatles, so everyone loves our playlist. We're gonna comb down from head to heels, all the way down the body. He's so smiley. Hi, buddy. Yeah, we're getting sleepy, I can tell.
Will he typically take a nap after this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He passes
He's out.
Yeah, for a long.
Yeah, I never, you can't ever promise sleep to parents, but generally speaking, they're pretty tired after this. We're gonna do some back circles, neck down to the tush, each side of the spine, small circles on the back. Look at him push himself up too. He really wants to get that mirror.
Oh, he has a mirror in front of him. I just noticed that. Okay.
He's like, this pillow, I don't need that. You can even toss that aside if you want. He doesn't even need it. He can just, because then he'll want to grab the mirror. There we go. Oh, now we're happy, yeah. Let's just pull down diaper a little bit and do the little tush massage. So we're just gonna be lightly circling with pads of your fingers on each side of the cheek. We'll stay off the spine and just lightly circle around on the bum. They love that mirror.
I know, I want to buy one like that.
Yeah, did it take you a lot of time to find these things?
So because I have quite an extensive baby background, I knew the products that I wanted. We have everything that you need here for sure, but I did put together an Amazon list, and of course we have a whole product list that I can show parents because we do have a lot of people that ask about our specific products. So
That's such a good idea.
yeah. And then we have, we also at the end of class give parents a sample massage routine so that they can take home and reference that as well. What do we think? We think we're probably done? Good job. Yeah, now he's like, I want to play. Yeah. So usually I'll take them through a full routine, but we always just watch babies' cues and how we're feeling. Some babies, especially after how much water movement Henry was doing, he's going to be a little bit more tired, so we never push them. We always just go based on what they're telling us. So we'll do either a long routine if they're feeling to do the extra massage moves, or we'll just do a little shorter one, and then they're usually ready to eat and then ready for a nap. So good, buddy. You can feel free to feed him too here if you want. It's totally up to you. So yeah, that's usually how full class goes, but again, it just depends on how baby's doing. Sometimes we'll do a little bit longer massage, but he was moving a lot in there, so he probably wouldn't make it through the whole one, which is normal. Like I said, we just watch their cues. And now we're pretty tired usually.
I think he saw the water, so he was like, oh, we're going back.
Yeah, we're going back, yeah. He definitely was mad at me when I took him out of there. Yeah, he was literally kicking me away.
He's tuckered out. You
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah, lots of eating and lots of sleeping usually when you leave here.
I know you're.
Has anyone asked about installing one of these in their home?
I get a lot of comments. Maybe that's going to be my second business venture here once we figure that out. Yeah, yes, definitely lots of comments. I'm not quite there yet, but it's flattering that everyone likes the tubs that I designed.
Yeah, I mean, for the right family who's plan on having a number of children, you could get a decade out of this. It'd be worth the installation, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, my 3-year-old would love it.
They do have soaking tubs that are similar, not so deep. The reason I designed mine deep is because unfortunately this got put on hold because of COVID, but our goal, and we're currently working on it, is to have occupational therapy, so water therapy for babies that need that extra development. So I'm working with an occupational therapist that's going to be doing those classes here. It's just obviously not right now, but it's something that we're currently working on. So that was the reason why I made the tub so deep, because we're hoping to have kiddos that are bigger, longer, and older coming in.
Got it.
So very specifically designed.
Is it just an optical illusion, or is the depth, is it the same depth, or is there a slant?
There's just a slant because of the draining.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty small.
Okay.
I like to put them in the car seat so that I don't have to hold it.
And they usually get pretty distracted when they're in here. So although they're pretty hungry, we have a nursing area here, a rocking chair, but because of the lights and the design and everything, and because most babies are not used to going anywhere these days, they can get pretty distracted. So sometimes it's hard to feed them.
Can we talk about your aha moment?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that.
Yeah, the main thing that I like to portray is just that we do both, that there's obviously real benefits to the floating and the massage. Obviously, being on Instagram and being that we have a baby business, a lot of people come through just thinking it's like an Instagram experience, and it's really...
That happens?
Oh yeah.
I never even thought about that. That makes so much sense,
Yeah,
though.
and I mean, again, to each their own, and that's fine. If that's what you're looking for, then that's great. But we really want to portray the health, wellness, bonding benefits that come out of this. Unfortunately, there was, again, a lot more when I had other classes, but that's my main hurdle to get over, is that it's not just like a baby spa. It's so much more than that. So, but you asked me all the questions that I would have asked. I did just announce that I was pregnant. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Yeah. That's really, everyone is excited to hear about that, because it's my first baby, and so it's really been cool to really connect with the moms on other levels.
So what are you going to do after how are you going to manage this?
It's a really good question. My husband asks me that every day. I hired nurses, so I have I actually have 5 NICU nurses that will be taking over my classes, which will be great. And then I'll just be kind of in and out, and then...
So if a nurse was in the NICU, why would they do this over that?
So they're not. It's just an additional.
Okay, so
so everyone's
they're moonlighting
working...
and doing this?
I'm sorry?
Are they moonlighting and doing this,
It's more so, I have my nurses that work here are, of course it's a job, but they come for fun. It's just an extra hobby. Most nurses work 3 days a week, 3 12s, and being in the NICU,
So they're coming on their off hours,
they're
doing
on,
an hour or 2 here when you have a session?
No, full day.
Full day, okay.
Yeah, so they're coming full day, full day here is between 7 and 8 hours, because we have a small time range, of course, of classes with babies, but I have 4 or 5 now NICU nurses and 1 PICU nurse, and NICU nurses, PICU nurses are amazing.
What's the difference?
NICU is neonatal and PICU is peds.
Okay.
So your population is going to be older in pediatrics. And so although it's a very, very rewarding job, it can be very stressful. It can be sad, of course, at times. So this is my nurses that work here. This is their way to still educate parents and still be really involved. But of course here it's babies that are healthy and not hospitalized. So it's just a very different kind of work, and everyone just loves being here. So I don't have any full-time employees. Everyone comes in very part-time casual. But we have all nurses are the instructors, which is really important to me when opening.
Is it hard to find people to work here? Or is it easy?
It's,
Or is it hard to even just introduce the idea? Someone has to know what this is first. And I imagine once they find that out, you might have applications through the door.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Originally when we opened, I was really lucky. I had a rock star team. I put something out on Instagram, I got a lot of responses, and then I hired my team that I still have today. Luckily for me, because of COVID, because we were just getting started, I didn't have any full-time employees. That would have been really tough to have. And then during COVID, I couldn't financially have people working here, so I was running everything myself. So I've still stuck with my original team, and then I bring my nurses in and my other employee team members in either usually between, right now it's about 2 days a week, and then I'm running everything else. But it was really, I couldn't for a while have other people working here, and I could do it. It wasn't great, but I could do it myself. Now that I'm pregnant, or when I found out I was pregnant, I really had to try to take a step back and, focus on that and not just be running myself into the ground here. So I'm slowly able to now bring people back in. But primarily I've just put it out on Instagram, and I've gotten responses that way. And then also just through word of mouth, my other nurse friends just told in their spaces in the hospital, and just if you're interested. So that's kind of how it worked out there. But I haven't put anything, I only needed a few people, so I didn't have any massive amount of recruiting or hiring, since I'm just starting to bring people back in.